field set. We're going to go racing for the first time for 4 occasions here on the day. Looking good coming out of turn number 13, and we are green, green, green. The run down into turn number 1. A good launch there for Pashevich. He's going to lean a little bit to the right side of the racetrack and try to see if he can't pitch down. Kennedy thinks about going around the outside, a little mid-corner correction there. Saravalli actually having to start from the grid or the pit lane after a penalty for contact yesterday. Big defense to the bottom for Pashevich down into turn number 2, the keyhole. Kennedy's going to try that outside move he used yesterday to take the lead. Does he get the run this time out of the corner? I think they're close to side by side again. Indeed, Kennedy trying to replicate that outside run yesterday. Does he get a better drive? Or does Pashevich deep him down into turn number 4? It's a downhill braking zone, so it extends the braking zone with the downhill run. That car wants to push itself through. This time Kennedy wise to tuck himself back in. The 2 drivers, Marak and Nissen, battling it out as well. How about this side by side? Kennedy may have the inside run down into turn number 6. Trying the over-under. Not quite enough again. Good to see that out of Kennedy. You're 14 years of age. You want to see the maturity out of a driver to say, hey, listen, I'm trying for the lead. I'm pushing for it here. Maybe I don't quite have it, back up, and don't risk it that early in the race.
Yeah, that's a long race. He's got plenty of time to make that move if he's going to make it. But yesterday, he, like I say, did it on the first lap and was never headed after that.
Both Kennedy and Dean Hugendorn turning 14 in early February. They missed the first 2 races, the opener in February at Homestead, and then the race at Carolina Motorsports Park in April. Turned 14 in May, able to run the next week at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so only the second weekend of competition for both of those drivers for VRD Racing. So did the opening lap in the books, nicely done. The drivers have been able to get through cleanly. Hopefully we'll have a green to checker race. We had 2 very rough races at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with a number of incidents at that track, and it's a facility there. If you make a mistake and go off, there's really no opportunity to stay out of the wall in some of those corners at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Finally, though, they figured things out. We went green to checker in race number 3. Let's hope we have that same thing happen here today. There was some incidents yesterday in juniors. I'd love to see them run clean here. Here's a coming to move. That's Hugendorn trying the inside there. We're going to go 3 wide down into the corner. Hugendorn's to the inside. Nissen's going to clear him. But that's going to be a pass for Hugendorn likely. Oh, here comes Marak back up the inside. Hugendorn's going to go around the outside. He may have the run down into 6 now. You've got to get the power down, and he's through. Book it. Hugendorn through. I believe he gets his way up into the 3rd spot. I said that was Nissen. I think that might have been Max Cuthbert, actually, he went by. So another great start for Max Cuthbert. Those 2 drivers for Jay Howard, driver development up front. You'll see the same livery on the Kate Motorsports cars in Indy next. And, of course, the Ed Carpenter Racing machines as well with that partnership that Jay Howard has with Ed Carpenter Racing. John, clean and green so far as they work their way through the carousel. Let's have a look. We'll give you the top 10 as they come across the line. Great start again for Karel Pashevich, trying to see if he can't bag his 4th win of the year. Edward Kennedy runs in 2nd. Max Cuthbert 3rd. Dean Hugendorn up to 4th. Oliver A. Marak in the 5th spot. 6th is Bex Cranston. 7th, Brendan Cooley. 8th, Max Mokaram. 9th, Elias Vignola. 10th is Victor Couto. Edward Kennedy jumps up to 14th in points. Missed the first 2 rounds of the series, but a big win, 32 points, moves him up to 14th. He's got an opportunity to move a couple more spots up, potentially fighting for the top 10 before this weekend is over. So good job for that young driver. Here's this battle right now between Max Cuthbert and Dean Hugendorn. Dean Hugendorn, a little bit of a defense there, looks to the inside. You can see that Olivier Marak trying to get his way by. I believe finally Hugendorn getting that pass done on Max Cuthbert, so move him up into P3. And Hugendorn, somebody that a lot of people are watching right now, one of the top go-kart racers in the world. Won the European Championship last year in the junior categories, finished 2nd overall in the World Championship event. Came over to the U.S. to the biggest karting event here, which is called the Superkarts USA Super Nationals in Las Vegas. Came away with a victory there as well. This is a kid that everybody's been watching, and not surprising, part now of the Williams F1 Academy for junior drivers. So, again, a great opportunity for him to run. We'd love to have him here again next year, but you got to expect sooner or later we're going to see him in European F4.
Yeah, no question. Top 3, a bit of a breakaway here.
So what happened to Hugendorn there? We missed something because Hugendorn had gone by. Oh, no, pardon me. Let's update again. Me making the mistake on the Jay Howard cars. That was Hugendorn and Casper Nissen. Cuthbert's actually closed back up on Kennedy. I thought it was Cuthbert that was in that battle. As Max Mokaram on the number 46 down pit lane.
With a missing front wing.
Yeah, that's not good for Mokaram. Remember, he came in here second place in points, and a front wing change coming there is an issue for Max Mokaram. But yeah, it wasn't actually Cuthbert that Hugendorn was racing with. It is the other Jay Howard car, Casper Nissen. My apologies. So Hugendorn up into fourth, still with that battle with Nissen. And shout out to Max Cuthbert. He has had a fantastic weekend thus far. 11th place in points coming in. He finished fourth yesterday. Great stuff right now for Max Cuthbert. Another driver coming in, that is Brendan Cooley.
Also with a damaged front wing.
Wow, damage for a couple of drivers here.
I understand he was off up at the keyhole and continued.
So trouble for both Max Mokaram and Brendan Cooley. Second place in points and 12th place in points. Tough one for Cooley coming into this weekend. I think he, on the schedule, John had likely circled Mid-Ohio as a track. Hey, I'm going to go for a race win here. I was top of the charts in many of the sessions in the April test. Loves this racetrack. Just didn't go his way here this weekend. Brendan Cooley with issues here. They'll change that front wing and get him back out on track. He'll likely lose a lap here. I said we heard he went off in turn 2. Yeah, here comes the field back around. So Cooley's going to lose a lap. Good front battle right now with the three drivers up there. Pashevich, Cuthbert, and Kennedy separated by less than 0.6 of a second. We're nose to tail. This is going to be good stuff. And you remember, Pashevich with 3 wins already. Kennedy's got his first one. Cuthbert, though, looking for that breakout win for Jay Howard Driver Development. He's gone into second. Great job for Max Cuthbert up into P2. The English driver coming from Janetta Jr. We've seen drivers do that before. We'll see what happens here with Cuthbert. Love to have the drivers from Janetta Jr. looking to work their way over here. Liam McNeely, the driver, of course, who kind of started that off. A Janetta Jr. driver who came over here, was fantastic in USF Juniors, won the first 5 races in USF 2000 before visa issues put him back in England and not allowed to come back to Canada, but he's racing over there in the Porsche Super Cup, I believe, and is doing a fantastic job. So we'll give a shout out to Liam McNeely. We'd love to have him back in our program here, but indeed hoping he'll be able to make his way over one day. Pashevich still leads, trying to see if he can't gap a little bit as we're kind of settling in here now.
Mokaram, after changing that front wing, is still on the lead lap, but barely. He's just in front of the leaders.
Yeah, not for long. They'll probably reel him in. It's actually, no, they've got quite a bit of a gap. He'll be all right. Pashevich leads, and we're making this almost 4 drivers as Casper Nissen has been able to get back by Dean Hugendorn, and he is rolling up. Nissen just turned the fast lap of the race, John, a 128.612. I'll tell you this right now, the Jay Howard cars are looking very strong, both Cuthbert and Nissen up on the wheel. Kennedy able to get back by Cuthbert on that last lap, but here comes Cuthbert, or that's Cuthbert, yeah, back to the inside again on Kennedy. Edward likes that outside line, though, and gets a good run out of the corner. He'll have that momentum. Yeah, indeed, Cuthbert tucking back in. Hugendorn right there as well. Marak, Cranston, Vidiola, Couto, and Cole Medeiros now up into the 10th spot, +3 for Cole Medeiros back into the top 10. P5 in points, so trying to stack another solid top 10 on.
Great 3-car battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, man. They are absolutely going after it. Cuthbert up in that position right at the moment.
Great pass for Cuthbert to get back by Kennedy. You know what? Karol Pashevich is loving this right now.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, fight it out for second. I'll be more than happy to pull away.
Yep.
You can see more fights further back as we got 2x2 coming down to the 5 and a 6 outside the top 10 as well. Let's see what happens with Max Cuthbert. Now he's got open racetrack. Kennedy's got to worry about Nissen.
Yep.
So that's going to allow Cuthbert to likely focus forward. We're going to start looking at lap times here. The pass was made on the last one, so it's not going to help here. He's going to lose a bit of pace. It was a half a second between first and second last time, but it's at least 7 or 8 tenths now, maybe even a bit more. Yeah, call it 1.1 seconds. Cuthbert into second, Kennedy third, Nissen fourth. Now, though, we'll see lap times. What does Cuthbert have? Shout out to the Jay Howard crew for dialing in the setup on these Tatis USF Juniors cars, the JR23. They've won here before, many times, in fact. Christian Rasmussen's super fast here. Lockie Hughes for the team was fast here as well. Liam McNeely, as we know, quick. So they know how to get things rolling here in these juniors cars. So let's see what happens here now with Cuthbert. Does he have the pace to become our 6th different winner on the season as well? That's the amazing thing. Pashevich, Ivan Machado Perez not here this weekend with 3 wins. Max Mokaram a couple. Cole Medeiros, Edward Kennedy, as we know, with victories as well. Could we get our 6th different winner? So the battle further back here between a couple of the Zanella Racing cars, scrapping it out with Cole Medeiros. That's Medeiros, Couto, and Mitchell. That was that battle we saw briefly there for 9th, 10th, and 11th. 12th spot there, Pipe Chaparro. I want to see whether or not Cuthbert's got the pace here. I think this is looking good right now. This young driver is kind of stepping thing up out of Essex, England. The Polish driver leading the way, though. That is Pashevich. Olivia Racing. Single car effort. There are 2 more cars ready to go if you want to go USF Juniors Racing here this year or in 2027. If you're a young driver looking to move into the USF Juniors program, we have a lot of places to go. USFJuniors.com. The team section is there. We have the USF Pro Championships.info as well, a great website to go to get a lot of information on the series as well. The success we've had moving drivers up through our ladder program into Indy Next and eventually the NTT IndyCar Series. We're finally actually bearing fruit here as well from USF Juniors. This program launched back in 2022, and finally we're getting the drivers who started there working their way up. You look at Nikita Johnson, you look at Max Taylor, you look at Alessandro DiTullio, started back in juniors. Being told the driver off potentially in turn number 1. Sounds like the car 8 of Max Cuthbert. So the driver who's pushing goes off in turn 1. What happened to Cuthbert? Man, oh man. The battle was there as Brendan Cooley back into pit lane again here in front of us at start finish. So look at the gap now. So an issue there. Cuthbert pushing hard. And the car is off the racetrack. Cuthbert off in turn number 1 and full course yellow. He is stranded off the racetrack. We'll stack him and pack him. Pashevich's lead of a second is gone. Everybody's slowing down, coming out onto the front straightaway. Kennedy goes back into the 2nd position. Casper Nissen to 3rd, moving Dean Hugendorn up into the 4th spot. Olivier Marac advances up into the 5th position. 6th is Bex Cranston. 7th will be Vignola. 8th, Medeiros. 9th, Victor Coutos. 10th, Grant Mitchell.
And Max Mokaram is saying, thank you very much.
Yes, huge for Max Mokaram. Great point, John. He was almost a full lap back.
Yep.
This is going to allow him to catch back around. This is a guy sitting 2nd place in points, got the wing knocked off of it. What a huge opportunity for Max Mokaram. John pointing out that key for Mokaram to get himself back to the tail of the field. This won't take long for us to go back to green. Hate to hear that Cuthbert went off there. So, in getting obviously some of our spotters, possibly that he may have just pulled off the racetrack. We didn't have that on camera, so I don't know whether or not it was a drive, like a mistake in turn 1, or potential mechanical that allowed him to pull off the side of the racetrack, forced him off the side of the racetrack rather. Tough one for Mokaram. So, folks, just so you know, our producer combing through the coverage to see what we have here for you, see whether or not we have any kind of replay. It sounds potentially like there may have been a spin. He was pushing hard. We know that, trying to work his way back up to Pashevich and just got by Edward Kennedy. Kennedy, of course, had his hands full with his teammate Casper Nissen as well. We do have a replay, folks. Look at the top of the screen here on this. You're going to see a little look there on this camera. So here comes Pashevich coming through. Here comes Nissen. Oh, he actually loses the rear of the car coming through. Off the racetrack, and he's going to try to get himself back on. But remember, all the overnight rain, that is going to be super wet and super slippery. Look how far off it. Look at that car bouncing.
And pieces coming off of it.
Yeah, that's the front wing. And around he goes, coming out of turn number 1. And as any young driver knows and is told, when you spin 2 feet in, so clutch and brake, and hold that brake down. You want to make sure the car, when it hits back on the racetrack, doesn't roll backwards into anybody else. Looks like he was doing that, but pushing so hard through turn number 1.
Yep.
Just a little over the edge, lost the rear of the car, out onto that super wet grass. At that point, John, as you know,
he's just a passenger.
Sliding at that point.
Just a passenger.
And listen, the racetrack is super smooth. When you go off track, it's not, there are going to be some undulations. You saw that car starting to bounce over some of the bumps, and once it starts that bounce, you keep bouncing. Front wing off the car, dug in, and all of a sudden you're along for the ride. That's a horrible, I don't want to say horrible luck, but a tough situation for Max Cuthbert, because he was putting in a fantastic drive, 4th yesterday, his best run of the season, and then to have that happen, I hate to see it for Max as he was pushing hard. I think he very likely looked like one of the faster drivers on the racetrack. Yeah. In fact, he had just gone purple with a 127.2. We're looking down at live timing here. He just turned the fastest lap coming across start finish. He knew he was closing. And just a little too much. Turn 1 is tough. Like, these drivers are trying to carry so much corner speed through and just lost the rear a bit.
Yeah, that's very tempting to do. You just set a fast lap. You're feeling like you're making some progress on the leader, and then says, okay, I'll try a little deeper into turn 1, and I think it caught him. So
one of the things you need to watch too, it's interesting, you think about the racetrack itself, and it's now only 74 degrees. It cooled down quickly, or quite a bit through the overnight with the rain, and you're thinking about moisture as you roll under the bridge into turn number 1. It's massively shaded underneath there as well. The temperature's going to be a lot cooler in terms of the track temperature itself. We talked yesterday, it was up to 130 degrees. We're nowhere close to that right now, so you wonder. Logan Knapp from Elite Engines right down there on pit lane sending me a text. He says their drivers are really having to handle it under the bridge, because as you turn in, you go from a higher temperature track, John, to the lower temperature asphalt as you work your way through there, and that means you're going to lose a little bit of grip. So Logan's saying a lot of drivers really getting some, let's say, mid-corner oversteer coming into turn number 1.
Yeah, the bridge being shaded is one of the last places to dry too, so because it doesn't get direct sunlight. Looks like we're ready to go back to racing here.
Field works its way out of Thunder Valley back to the top of the hill. It'll be Pashevich, Kennedy, Nissen, Hugendorn, and Marak, your top 5. Again, a big opportunity for Maximo Karam to get a bunch of spots back here after losing the wing. The team got it repaired and replaced. He's back on the racetrack. He was almost a full lap back. He'll have an opportunity to work his way forward. We'll keep an eye on Max McCarron as well. Great jump on the start there for Pashevich, as he's going to get at least 2 to 3 car lengths going into turn number 1. So you can see the shade to the left side of the screen there if you're watching at home. That's right as you've turned in. Get the car to kind of take a set going into the corner. Tough one for Max Cuthbert, losing the wheel on that. There's your lead. Called maybe a car length and a half for Pashevich over Kennedy, yesterday's winner. Onto the back straightaway now. Past the halfway point as well. That was 10 laps down, 10 to go here.
Barak going after Nissen.
Got a little bit of a battle as they work their way out there. Not surprising, Olivier Marak trying to go back at it. Remember, a rough one for him yesterday, just 4 points after 3 straight podiums. And we're going to go big time side by side. Oh, one driver's going to go off the outside. That's one of the, 2 of them go off. Oh, right back onto the racetrack for Marak. Right back on the racetrack for Grant Mitchell. So 2 Zanella cars dropping a wheel at the exit of turn number 4. Olivier Marak sent it and was not able to keep it on the racetrack. Wow. And to come back on like that, you think the drivers, as you come into turn 5, you better be looking through the corner to see that guy coming back on. Because, again, John, you talked about this. You're a passenger at that point.
Yep. And they both brought some grass clippings up onto the racetrack too, so that'll be a factor here for the next couple of laps.
You can do your best to try to steer the car in that direction, as the driver's gone off coming out of turn number 11 as well. You see him go 4 wheels off. You can try to steer it, but with so much moisture last night, it's so slippery, so slick when you get out onto the grass area. Wow. Not much you can do coming back onto the racetrack. Just kind of close your eyes and hope you don't get taken out when you come through. That's going to drop Olivier Marak back into 10th spot. Grant Mitchell goes back into 7th. That's going to move Bex Cranston up into 4th. Nissen goes back to 5th. Cranston able to get by in all that big battle. Cranston able to get into 4th. Vignola up to 6th. Medeiros up to 7th. Kutos, Saravalli, and Marak. Leonardo Saravalli started from the pit lane after an issue there yesterday. Instant responsibility for the contact over in turn 5. Started from pit lane. Luckily got that, as we know, there's that grass, by the way, on the racetrack that got brought back on by both Mitchell and Marak. But Saravalli leveraging that caution period, he's now up into 9th. So a great recovery for Leonardo Saravalli and the number 87 Zanella Racing Machine.
BRD teammates 2nd and 3rd. Bex Cranston just behind them, then Nissen.
Yeah, you think about it, John, that the VRD guys, Kennedy and Hugendorn, were both on the podium yesterday, first and third. Now they run second and third, so a fantastic VRD weekend thus far. Joao Vergara on the podium yesterday as well for USF 2000. He'll try to replicate that again later on today.
Pashevich definitely getting away at the front.
No, where is Pashevich?
You're right.
Where's Pashevich? He is falling down the order. Edward Kennedy goes back to the lead. Bex Cranston to second.
7th.
Pashevich across the line, P7. What happened to the leader, Pashevich? At number 28 of Grant Mitchell back into pit lane here. He'll have to get a front wing replaced, but man, an issue there. Not sure what happened to Karol Pashevich, your leader for Olivia Racing, down into 7th position. Kennedy has been inherited the lead. Bex Cranston to second, Dean Hugendorn in third.
Back-to-back wins in only his 4th and 5th races of the season. If Kennedy can hang on, my goodness gracious.
Could you believe it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Still lots of racing to go, 8 laps. There's Saravalli leading a train in front of him. He's got his teammates behind him. I believe he's got Marak behind him. I think he was able to get by Kuto, so I think it's Kuto, Saravalli 8th, Kuto 9th, Marak 10th. And you've got Pipe Chaparro in there as well. But Edward Kennedy probably cannot believe what happened as the leader, obviously off somewhere on the racetrack. Let's see what happens with Pashevich coming back around here. I'll try to pick him up on track. That caught us off guard. I just all of a sudden looked back down and looked outside, not even on the screen, and it was Kennedy by himself coming across the line. There he is out of turn number 13.
And Cranston up to second.
Yeah, Pashevich now right in front of Saravalli. Saravalli up on the wheel. Now, is it an issue for Pashevich? We'll have a look at lap times there, 29.4, so that was the issue. So Saravalli, the driver who was starting from pit lane, being told a potential 5-second jump start penalty, which means he left early on, a jump start on the restart, I'm being told.
Ah, okay.
So potential off in turn 11 for Pashevich, the leader. So coming out of Thunder Valley, pushing hard through there. So that's potentially where Pashevich went off. Saravalli, a 5-second potential jump start penalty. So that's what we're getting from race control. So indeed, tough stuff there for Saravalli. The jump start, obviously, if he got enough of an advantage on that, moved us way up to 9th or 8th, as we had said, currently running in that 8th position. So a jump start penalty, that's one of the things, the starts are pretty easy to pick up, with the camera on top of it. You've got to, when you punch off, when you roll, race control picking that up pretty quickly. Kennedy out to your lead though. Bex Cranston runs second. Here's a big move here for the number 97 of Cole Medeiros, looking to the inside. He's trying to find a way by Casper Nissen. So a good battle here right now for P4.
A couple young Canadians looking strong here.
Indeed. Edward Kennedy and Cole Medeiros and Leonardo Saravalli all here in the top 10. We talked about it when we were up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, just outside at turn number 8 rather, at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is Mosport Karting Center.
Yep.
And all 3 of those drivers have won Canadian championships at that particular karting facility. I thought that was quite interesting that they would be racing. It was the first weekend for Edward Kennedy to run in the program, so all 3 of those young Canadians, again, being told a potential penalty for one of the drivers, a warning for blocking. Not surprising.
It's Bex Cranston.
Yeah, Cranston getting a penalty, or rather a warning for blocking, and he's getting pressured pretty hardcore here by Dean Hugendorn. The move down into turn 5, I saw him move to the inside of the racetrack. Just to kind of clarify, the rule set for our program in terms of blocking is you're allowed to run a defensive line. In other words, you can come in a corner, you need to make the first move in defense. If you move in reaction to the driver, so if a driver behind you comes down into 4, if he moves to the inside and then you come across to block, that's our block. You can't move in reaction to a driver from behind you. You can move early, you can come out of the corner and pick your line to the inside. You can even move back to the outside, but you cannot move in reaction to. So that's the key there. So if a driver kind of looks to the inside, you come across to cover, That's not allowed here in the USF Pro Championships. So they're keeping a very close eye on that right now. This battle for second's a big one. Same goes for the battle a bit further back for 4th and 5th. Casper Nissen and Cole Medeiros. Medeiros throwing everything at it right now. Keeps trying the outside. There's a big move to the bottom for Casper Nissen. Big run here for Medeiros. He's on the gearbox. Expect a couple of opportunities here. Side by side for Bex Cranston and Hugendorn. I think Hugendorn's going to get around the outside. Indeed, he does. Cole Medeiros is going to around the outside as well. Look at this shot coming through. Up through turn number 5. The driver's gone around in turn number 4 and 5. We think somebody went around. That might have been Medeiros. Yeah, Medeiros has gone around in turn number 5, and he's on the throttle and just can't get it going. Look how wet it is. That thing's just sliding all over the place. He's trying to get it back around. Cole Medeiros off in turn number 5. That battle between he and Casper Nissen does not come up well. He's going to have to get that thing in reverse to get it back onto the racetrack, because with the angle there, the bit of a banking in the grass, he has nosed himself in right now to the barriers in that corner. Right side of the racetrack. Cole will be disappointed with that one for sure. He's going to fall down the order here. Only 4 laps remaining. Full course yellow. Cole Medeiros. That fight through turn number 5 did not work. Edward Kennedy with the lead right now. Hugendorn second, Cranston third, Nissen fourth. The spin for Medeiros will move Elias Vignola up to 5th. We do have a look at this, I believe. Remember, he was on the outside coming down through. Let's have a look at it here. He's on the outside. Casper Nissen on the inside. Trying to hold to the outside. Nissen takes him very wide, drops a wheel just on the exit, and spinning around. Pashevich. Oh, talk about a heads-up call for Pashevich up on the brakes. Saravalli right there coming through as well, and here's a shot here from the drone. Fantastic stuff there. The drone actually in front. This is the different camera angle that they'll use throughout the IndyCar program this weekend. Tough one for Cole Medeiros, man. He had worked his way up there, started further back in 13th. He was battling for 4th. Man, just was on the outside, and it's so tough, John, on the outside. You and I talked about it yesterday. I'll let you kind of reiterate a bit. They did make some changes to the kind of topography of that corner. Indeed, they did. They took a little bit of the banking out of turn number 4. It's down a couple degrees from where it was, and then that was all in the whole effort to raise the level of China Beach, basically, and just smooth out that transition from off track into the gravel trap. And so that's made that outside pass around turn 4 a little more difficult than it used to be. Yeah, John, the change, you mentioned this yesterday, the change due to the incident we saw with Simon Pagenaud a number of years ago, where he got off the track and essentially launched himself off as kind of a ramp to a certain extent with the banking. And the banking just allowed you to go around the outside and maybe hold a little better, a lot of more outside moves. Cole Medeiros on the outside there. You can see coming through the corner, Nissen kind of continued through, and Medeiros really no ability to hold on. And the minute you just drop that left rear off, and we talked about how wet it is now as well, you see that car started to rotate as soon as he dropped the left wheel. We see that pass still happening, but it's not as frequent as it was. So not surprising, getting a report here that race control on a essentially all-channel radio commission to all the drivers. Stop playing with fire, guys. I know everybody's trying to hold a spot here, but I think remember, there's not just one guy in race control. We got 2 stewards as well here this weekend. They're watching all the video, and they're saying, listen, we see what you guys are doing. You guys are playing with fire in terms of kind of fading over. Yep. I talked about not moving in reaction, but drivers will fade over a little bit to try to stop, but the fade is still a move in reaction. So we are going to have a couple of laps here. If we are able to go green this next time by, which would not surprise me, we could have a 2-lap dash at the end here. Edward Kennedy looking to try to get his second win. VRD Racing runs 1-2 with Edward Kennedy and Dean Hugendorn first and second. Bex Cranston third. Casper Nissen fourth. Elias Vignola fifth. Karol Pashevich back up to 6th spot. Leonardo Saravalli in 7th, but there will likely be a 5-second penalty for Saravalli when this is all said and done. This yellow not working for him because it stacked everybody back up. Right. Victor Couto in 8th spot. Olivier Marac, after the issue for him, he's back up to 9th. And J.W. Main, I talked about him working his way from deep in the field into the top 10 yesterday. He's 10th right now. So J.W. Main trying to cap off what's been his best weekend of the season as well. Currently 15th in points. One of his best finishes of the year yesterday, trying to get another top 10 finish for the driver for Jay Howard, driver development. Yeah, indeed, our pace car. Yeah,
a 2-lap shootout here.
Honda Civic Type R pace car has worked its way off the racetrack, and as John said, we are going to go back at it. 2 laps remaining. Kennedy versus Hugendorn, VRD versus VRD, but Bex Cranston right there looking for his first win as well. Wants the momentum to build to go to Lime Rock. Here we go. Back at it. Green, green, green. Pashevich thinking about the outside. Being told 2 cars off the racetrack already. Oh, we got 2 drivers off, folks, here. 2 of the Zanella Racing drivers have crashed coming out of turn number 13. Look at the left side of the screen. We couldn't even see that from here. Coming to the green flag, that is Kuto and Marak. Those drivers, my goodness, I think they were running 8th and 9th. So the 2 Zanella drivers collect each other, and that is effectively going to end this race, folks, because we had a 2-lap dash going. This is going to take forever. So, listen, this weekend has given us a bit of everything, John. The AMR safety crew quickly into the scene to get these drivers out, and I would not want to be in the Zanella Racing office after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So, let's unpack this very quickly. Edward Kennedy is going to win his second. He's going to sweep the USF Juniors weekend here. Wow. For VRD Racing, they go 1-2. Dean Hugendorn, his second podium as well. Bex Cranston's going to be on the podium here for Exclusive Autosport in the number 90. Kasper Nissen finishes 4th. Elias Vignola in 5th. Karol Pashevich in 6th spot. Leonardo Saravalli 7th. But again, he's going to lose a bunch of spot time here. He's going to fall deep down with a 5-second penalty because we're not at speed now.
Right.
So he'll lose a number of spots here. J.W. Main ends up in 8th. He'll be 7th. Pipo Chaparro, 9th on the racetrack. Jared Zelka in 10th spot. Arian Narola, who started in 18th, is going to go all the way up into the top 10, I believe. We are going to have a look at the incident here coming onto the front straightaway. Who made the move to dive by? We go to green. The minute where the green flag's flying, you can race. So look back there. Victor Kuto, I think, gets into the curb on the corner in. Yeah, so the driver on the inside, Victor Kuto, and that's hard impact. Straight into the tires on the outside of turn number 13. And John, looked to me like Kudo just tried to maybe get on the power or was on the power, hit that curb, shot the car to the right, and at that point they connect. And they're just on again, like we've talked before, they're essentially along for the ride at that point.
Yeah, Marak went into the tire barrier. The rear end of the car came off the ground. He hit that tire barrier so hard.
Well, they're full on the throttle coming through there, right?
No question. Yeah.
So, have we had some interesting racing here this weekend? Yes, we have. USF Juniors, a number of yellow flags here, a number of incidents on the racetrack. This one will be provisional for sure. Let's put it that way, folks. Again, we're making our race control work hard looking at video after the races here. Drivers with issues. Max Cuthbert off. Brendan Cooley was off. He was able to get back on the racetrack. They fixed his car. He continued to race. But again, Victor Kuto and Olivier Marak out here at the end of this one. Yeah, it's going to move Brendan Cooley up a couple of spots. He remains on the racetrack because they're going to come back around and pick up the checkered flag here momentarily. Edward Kennedy, though, man, back-to-back race wins. Yesterday he got it on his own merit with a great pass on the outside of Pashevich, starting in the keyhole, finishing in turn 4. This time it looked like he was potentially up for a battle to try to potentially reel in Pashevich, but something happened with Carroll off the racetrack, handed the lead to Kennedy, and he'll leave here with a couple of victories. And not only that, as I said, he jumped to 14th place in points. He's going to add another 30, 31, 32 points. He's going to work his way potentially close to the top 10. So Kennedy impressive in just a couple of weekends here.
Absolutely.
Great stuff for Edward Kennedy. And that is, again, also 5 straight top 10 finishes to start off his career. 10th in the opening race and then continued on. So field coming through. Checker flag's going to fly when they come across the line here with that yellow flag. So another win for Edward Kennedy. It's a VRD Racing 1-2. Dean Hugendorf moves up a spot. 3rd yesterday, 2nd place today. Bex Cranston in 3rd position. Kasper Nissen 4th. Elias Vignola in 5th. Karol Pashevich in 6th spot. His point lead will extend because those behind him, John, where did Max Mulcairn get back up to? 12th.
Yeah.
Remember, after the wing damage,
Right.
almost a full lap back, the restart with that full course yellow allowed him to come back up to 12th. So great stuff from McCarron. He probably would have liked a couple of green flag laps at the end to get more spots. But McCarron, second place in points, back in 12th. Machado Perez not here this weekend, budget issues. Olivier Marac out here, as we know, in turn number 13. Cole Medeiros out after the incident. He ends up finishing 16th, does finish. Victor Couto out. Vilo Autola not here. Then Bex Cranston. Pashevich is going to take another big chunk out of the championship as he tries to pull away here heading to the finale at Road America. This is massive for Pashevich here on the weekend. So, Kennedy, Hugendorn, Cranston, those drivers we'll see here momentarily at Victory Lane. There's a look at the rest of the unofficial results. Nissen, Vignola, 4-5. Pashevich, 6. Saravalli, 7th, but there's going to be a penalty there, a 5-second penalty. That's going to drop him quite a way down the order, probably down to 14th for Saravalli. J.W. Main, 8th. Another 2 great top 10 finishes for J.W. He started back in 17th. Up 9 for J.W. Main. He goes to 9th for Jay Howard Driver Development. Pipa Chaparro and Jared Oselka rounding out the top 10. John, 4 races on the docket here for the drivers in the USF Pro Championships here. We've got the drivers in USF Pro 2000 for their first race. We'll start driver introductions at around 11:30 there. Autograph sessions again, folks, if you're here trackside, 1:30 for USF Juniors and USF 2000, 2 o'clock for USF Pro 2000, and a couple of races later on today. A 4:10 driver intro for USF 2000, and right after that, straight into USF Pro 2000 for their second race as well.
Those 2 autograph sessions, by the way, at the Mid-Ohio store, which is between the lower and the middle paddock, right in the middle of the paddock. So
heading to Victory Lane.
All right, see you down there. Arian Narola, your 11th place finisher. Max Mokaram finishing in the 12th spot. Leonardo Saravalli, again, his penalty has been added, so he's back to 12th now. Haydu in 13th spot. Matty Coloran finishing 14th. Grant Mitchell in the 15th spot with Cole Medeiros in 16th. A lap down after his spin. As the field making their way into the pit lane. Looking forward to what's next on the agenda. Indy Next qualifying next on the order. About 25 minutes from now at the top of the hour, but we'll be joining Rob Howden for the podium celebration for this finale for the weekend for the USF Juniors as Edward Kennedy brings it into Victory Lane for the second time this weekend. This 14-year-old setting the series on fire here as he had his inaugural start in the season at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park at the last race meeting. Good strong finishes there. 4th place finish in round number 2. And then a well-timed pass on the first lap of the race yesterday around the points leader, Pashevich. Put Kennedy in the front, and he was able to hang on to it. This one, same story, just being patient and being there when mistakes were made by the cars in front of him. And Edward Kennedy sweeping the weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. As he climbs out of the car to celebrate that second victory on the weekend, Edward Kennedy, the 14-year-old phenom, youngest winner ever in USF Championship competition. Big congratulations from his VRD crew. VRD's got to be happy. A 1-2 finish for the team with Hugendorn coming home in 2nd spot, Cranston in 3rd. And we'll meet those 3 drivers in just a few minutes as Rob Howden making his way down to the victory podium.
John, thank you so much indeed. What a battle there for the drivers in USF Juniors. A fantastic race. The future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Let's get things underway with the podium here, the presentation. Finishing in 3rd spot today. Give it up for Exclusive Auto Sports, Bex Cranston. Bex, come down here. Let's have a quick chat first. A hardcore battle for sure. Let's talk a little about it. Walk me through your race. How did things go?
Yeah, I mean, I fell back at the start. You know, I was obviously starting 8th after the penalty yesterday, but just tried to keep chipping them off, one by one. And, yeah, a couple restarts helped me out, but yeah, I got to thank all the boys at Exclusive Autosport, you know, all of our partners too, IES, Miller Motor Cars, Ridgetop Research, Tefra Digital, King & Spalding, Miller Motor Cars, they all do it for us, so big thank you. But yeah, good result.
And this for you, a good result as well, momentum going into next week, your home track. We go to Lime Rock Park next Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, excited about that one.
Let's bring Dan Anderson up here with a trophy for you. Dan Anderson, the CEO and the owner of Anderson Promotions, the owner of and promoter of our program here, the USF Pro Championships. Dan, congratulations, good stuff. Great job for Bex Cranston. Next driver we'll welcome up here. Again, a fantastic run here. Third place yesterday, second place today for VRD Racing, Dean Hugendorn, finishing P2. Dean, a much more comfortable race here this morning, about 20 degrees cooler, but just tell me about your race a bit. You were in the middle of a couple of really good battles out there.
Yeah, obviously starting P7 is not the easiest race you will get, but no, I'm really happy with the result again, as we have VRD 1 and 2, so all the boys back in the team, really great job, because yeah, we found really great pace, especially from the middle of the race. You know, we started really like chipping those positions away, like going into the front. We had 2 safety cars in the end, so that was really tricky, but no, I stayed behind Eddie and everything went as planned, so I'm really, really happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dean Hugendorf, folks, second place. Anderson Promotions COO Michelle Kish to bring the P2 trophy up here for Dean. Great drive for Dean Hugendorf for VRD Racing. But I'll tell you, what a fantastic way to kind of kick things off on only his second event here. Both he and Dean turning 14 just at the start of May, the youngest drivers. And, of course, Edward Kennedy yesterday becoming the youngest ever winner in the program. He goes back-to-back. A round of applause, folks. A winner again today, Edward Kennedy. Edward, we talked a little bit before you came up here that you think you had the pace to go get Karol Pashevich. He makes a mistake and goes off track. You felt you had the car, though. You probably could have went and raced him hard.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have the pace in the beginning, so I just had to defend a bit for second. And I knew there was, at some point in the race, there was going to be a safety car or a full course yellow, and there was. And after that, Karol spun, and I got the P1 and basically inherited to me. And then I had a lot of pace towards the end, so we were really, really fast at the end. So I'd like to thank VRD.
Well done. Get on top of this podium. We'll bring Danny Anderson back up once again to present another trophy. What a collection already here for Edward Kennedy. A couple of wins here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. What a fantastic outing for VRD Racing as well. 4 podiums among these 2 drivers. Great stuff for both Edward Kennedy and Dean Hugendorf. Both these drivers just 14 years of age with a bright future ahead of them. Same goes for Bex Cranston on the podium here this weekend. His first podium in USF Juniors competition. Great momentum leading into next weekend's event at Lime Rock Park. Looking forward to heading there. These juniors drivers will be testing on Tuesday afternoon ahead of a Friday and Saturday race alongside the NASCAR Truck Series. Good stuff for USF Juniors. And as we know, folks, 3 more races still on the docket. 2 races for USF Pro 2000. The back end of the doubleheader for USF 2000 still to come here today. So lots of racing here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on the ladder to the NTT IndyCar Series. What a fantastic drive that was for Edward Kennedy up front. He's the one that didn't make the mistakes. A minor miscue there for Pashevich drops him down the order. Still a huge lead in the championship now for Karol Pashevich, but we need other drivers looking to step up and work their way up the order. One more thing to do to cap things off for this celebration here, and that is to grab what we call the age-appropriate sparkling beverage. No champagne for our 14-year-old drivers here today. Guys, grab that champagne for us, please. Let's go. Grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate USF Juniors. Race number 2 and a back-to-back win here for Edward Kennedy. Kennedy scoring the victory over Dean Hugendorf and Bex Cranston. Great racing in USF Juniors. More to come here, ladies and gentlemen. Lots more here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. Again, for those of you tuned in, we appreciate you watching the future stars of IndyCar go to work here at Mid-Ohio. We'll be back for lots more racing today. Thanks for tuning in, folks. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name is Rob Howard. Bye for now.